Home and Wealth, sponsored by Rodney Anderson with Supreme Lending.
All right, there's a lot to think about when it comes to your mortgage, whether you should refinance or what is your fixed rate and your equity. Of course, we're talking to the expert this morning. This is our mortgage expert, Rodney Anderson. He's going to answer some viewer questions.
Good morning, Alana.
You might actually have this question too, so pay attention. Happy to have you here this morning. All right, our first question. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
From Trisha in Lantana. She says, my husband and I, we want to retire in a couple of years. We currently own our $300,000 home. Free and clear, we have $150,000 of debt, though. This is made up of $100,000 in credit card debt and $20,000 of 401k loans. This is a situation, and $30,000 in student loans for a granddaughter. We hate the thought of refinancing. What should we do to consider to pay off our debt? That's a problem. But I'm sure so many people can relate to that.
Yeah, here's what I tell people. You have to retire your debt before you retire. And when you have $100,000 in credit card debt, the average person right now is paying nearly 17%. That's $17,000 in interest in 1 year. So let's say you refinanced your mortgage and pulled out $100,000 just to pay off the credit card debt. Let's say your rate was 5.5%. Rates are determined by your credit scores and a whole lot of other factors. Your interest for the year is $5,500. So you've just saved $11,500 in interest in 1 year. Times that by 5 years, you've saved over $57,000 of interest in a 5-year period of time. And that's not even including the higher interest rate on the student loans, which are most student loans are 7 to 8%, and the $20,000 of 401k debt. These people have a debt snowball that is going to just hurt their retirement if they don't do something. The free and clear house is a beautiful thing. Get your debt under control, do a cash out refinance, and save yourself a ton of interest.
Trisha, I hope you're listening. And if not, we're going to put this online later. Take note. Take note. The next one. You ready for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Robert from Greenville. He says, we did a 15-year fixed rate about 3 years ago, and we are close to retirement. The payment is a little tight for our budget, so we're thinking about moving back to a 30-year fix. Is this a smart move?
Well, here's what happens. When you're getting ready to retire, you normally have a retirement budget. All your bills have to fit into that budget, because if you're overpaying on your mortgage, even though you're building equity, at that time of your life you may not have the ultimate desire to build equity because you're just trying to keep it in your budget. So we see a lot of this right now where people are going from a 15-year to a 30-year. Now the big thing is your rates could go up a little bit, but structure the payment for you and don't get advice from a lot of people on this that aren't professionals, because your friends, your family, your coworkers, and I all have one thing in common: no one pays your bills for you. So you got to make sure it fits into your budget.
Ronnie, preach. That is so true. Don't get advice from your friends. You need to go to the professionals. All right, our next one from Gladys in Rockwell. She says, my husband and I, we want to sell our current home to our daughter as we are moving into a retirement home. She doesn't have much money to put down for closing costs and down payment. Is there a part of our equity that we can use to assist her with the cost?
There's a great program that most people aren't aware of, and this is only for people that are buying houses from their family members, blood relative, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa. It's called a gift of equity. And what you can use if mom and dad are selling the house to their daughter, one of the things that they can do is she can use part of that equity that they're gifting her as part of the down payment, the closing cost, and the escrow setup. So I just had a client do one of these $275,000 home. The daughter moved in for $1,000. So it's called a gift of equity program. Most lenders aren't aware of them, and you just got to make sure that you know all the ins and outs, but it's a great program.
Gift of equity program. All right, our last one is Alani from Burleson, who says, my father recently passed away, and we need to move my mother closer to us. She does not qualify to purchase a home on her own, and I'm worried if I purchase it for her, it has to fall under the investment home guidelines. Is that correct?
No, it's not. We have a particular program. This is only for parents that are moving closer to you that cannot qualify. And it's a program where you can still consider it a primary residence. You can buy the house for mom and dad. You don't have to pay the higher interest rates, the higher closing costs for investment property. It's a rare program program that's out there, but we're doing a lot of them as our population gets older. And I have one right now where dad passed away, mom wants to move nearby the kids want to move them nearby, but they don't want mom to live with them. Okay. So this is a great program that's available.
We're answering questions here on Good Morning Texas. Hopefully you're helping out a lot of people here in the area. Any questions you may have, but if you have more, my suggestion to you is to give Rodney a call, ask him. Whatever it may be, he can help you out. It's 1-800-EXPRESS with all of your financial and mortgage questions. Everything is also on his website. It's rodneyanderson.com.